Welcome back to Public Affairs on Peach. I'm Brittany Miller. We will continue our discussion of texting and driving this segment with Sergeant Gregory Molden, a patrol sergeant at Middle Georgia State University. So tell us about your brother, Jacob. You have a really personal story to tell us, right?
Yes, ma'am. On August 4th, 2016, my brother Jacob Molden was killed in a motor vehicle crash from texting while driving. This was in Hartwell, Georgia, for a town where I grew up. Used to be able to call home. Now it's a place I don't even want to go back to now.
Really? If you can tell us the details of that story in terms of what happened that night or that day?
Yes, ma'am. He was sending a text message to a girl he was going to pick up for a date that evening. He had been sending numerous text messages prior to that, and the vehicle behind him was actually about to call in for the distractions on it. Before they could do that, though, it was too late, and he crashed into another truck.
And how old was he?
He was 29. He would actually be 31 today.
Today?
Yes, ma'am. Today is his birthday.
I'm so sorry for your loss. And I can only imagine how hard it is for you to talk about this right now.
Yes, ma'am.
So what do you want people out there to know about your brother and texting and driving?
Well, my brother was never a bad person or anything. He just sent the simple text messages and lost his life over such a senseless act like that. And to know that you could be putting your family in harm's way when you're doing that yourself, knowing they're on the roadways. I'd like people to think about not only themselves, but the family members and other drivers on the roadways.
It sort of reminds me of that slogan we hear all the time, you know, it can wait.
Yes, ma'am, of course. I mean, something so senseless like that, taking a life of my brother, is unimaginable.
What has it been like for you and your family to deal with this?
It's been something I never thought I would have to deal with, and something I wouldn't ever want to deal with again. My brother was one of the biggest parts of my life there, and having gone over text messages, it's nothing I don't want anybody else to have to deal with. And if speaking out can save another life, then it's worth it all the way.
What do you say to anyone that may say, you know, that'll never happen to me? Because I know some people do believe that.
I'm sure my brother thought it would never happen to him too, and I would have never thought that he would have died from sending a text message behind a motor vehicle. But you're not invincible. It happens to everyday people like me and you and our family members, and you're not the one that has to deal with the pain afterwards. It's your family members or the other family of someone that you've killed in a texting while driving crash.
And Greg, you are a police officer, a sergeant.
Yes, ma'am.
How has this affected the way you police?
It's not all about enforcement, it's about education too. You don't have to write everybody a ticket for everything, but sitting there and just talking to them about dangers of stuff and how it affects people. And I've done a few events on campus where they've came and talked to me and seen what I've had to offer with them, and I think that's helped a lot there. And just speaking out about the dangers and not writing tickets is what I think is good.
And when you have worked on college campuses, or even if you're in a patrol car and you see a person, just attached to their phone, what's running through your mind?
They're just used to it. Like I was saying earlier, everyone's so used to doing these kind of things, and it's a habit for them now. And sometimes I'll stop them, and they are wondering why I'm even pulling them over. And I tell them that it's because they were on their phone and not paying attention and failed to maintain lane or ran a stop sign. And they're just so used to having their phones in their hand, especially at the age of college students. That's all that they care about, it seems like sometimes, is with the social media and text messages with friends. And that seems to be a bigger priority than driving on the roadways.
Do you tell them the story of your brother?
Not on every stop, but when I'm doing events on campus, of course, that comes up. But if it's just a day-to-day stop, no, ma'am, I don't get into the personal all the time. But sometimes it does come up whenever I feel that would be a better option than a citation.
And if you could say anything to anyone that has gotten behind the wheel and gotten on their phone, what would you tell them?
The danger of losing a loved one or killing somebody else because a senseless act of being on your cell phone. Like you said, it can wait, and to be such a bad thing that could happen in life over just a text message that's not worth it at all.
I want to thank you so much for sharing your story, and I'm so sorry for your loss. But you know, it's all about education.
Yes, ma'am.
As you said.
That's why we're here. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, next we're going to talk about the physical toll texting takes on our bodies after the break.